What's up and welcome to part 2 of the Footballer's Physical Checklist. If you haven't watched Stamina for Footballers, Pitch-Based Fitness for Footballers, go and watch that. That is the first video. Today we're going to talk about gym-based fitness for footballers. So it's all the work that you do in the gym. This area, what to do in the gym, can be really confusing for young players or just any player of any age. You know, when do they do gym sessions? What do they do in the gym? How do they get stronger? How do they get more powerful? They see bodybuilders, you know, you see all this on Instagram and YouTube, how to get massive chest, how to build up your legs, how to get good core, but none of it's really specific to football. Or maybe you go off to the gym with your mates aren't football players, your mates aren't athletes, maybe they're training for something completely different and you end up just doing what they do because it's easy. It's easy to follow what they're doing. Today I want to stop that, I want to change that, I want to give you every piece of knowledge you need to go into the gym and make yourself strong like a footballer, powerful like a footballer, explosive like a footballer. I want you to stop getting pushed off the ball. I want you to feel powerful when you change direction and when you sprint. And I want you to feel confident when you step out onto the pitch. So today, we're going to cover everything in gym-based fitness for footballers. Strength, lower body and upper body, power, lower body and upper body, and some core work. Okay, those of you who watched the first video on pitch-based fitness will understand that I like giving a little bit of education, a little bit of the reasons why we do certain things before actually telling you what to do. But if you don't want to hear the interesting bit, then you can skip and check out the timestamps below and they'll take you to the bit of the video that you want to see. So maybe you want to transport straight to strength, maybe you want to transport straight to power, maybe you want to transport straight to core. Click on the timestamps below and they'll take you there. If not, listen to this. Okay, welcome to the garage gym. Now, I love this gym because I can film anything I want without worrying about anyone watching me thinking that guy is a dafty. So welcome to the garage gym, the home of Sam Wardrop coaching. Okay, so I want to tell you 5 things first of all before we get stuck into the session. The first one is the process, the second one is when to do the gym, the third one is in-season gym work, the fourth one is off-season gym work, and the fifth one, which if you've worked with me before, you'll know is less is better. Less is better. Okay, before we get stuck into those 5 things, I want to tell you 2 really important things. Number 1, as football players, we use the gym obviously to get stronger, to get leaner, to get faster, to get more explosive, to get more powerful, but second of all, and the most important, is that we use it to reduce injuries. We want to be training as much as we can. We want to be playing games as much as we can. And the only way we can do this is if we make our bodies robust. And by using the gym, we can really use it to our advantage to reduce injuries, for injury prevention, but also we make our bodies really strong, really robust and bulletproof. That is probably the most important reason why footballers use the gym. Okay, so let's talk about the process. Strength, power and core. Strength, unbelievably important for football players. We probably tend to focus more on this in the off season, but it's okay to do a bit of strength through the season. And the reason we do strength is number 1, it takes the load off the joints. Number 2, it packs muscle on our body, our full frame. We can use it to our advantage to hold players off the ball, but also it's that injury prevention. It makes our bodies really robust and it allows us to handle the load of training in games. Number 2 is power. Power is probably one of the most exciting, one of the most interesting, because it allows you to be more explosive. It allows you to change direction faster, it allows you to jump higher, it allows you to sprint faster. And the third part of the process is core work. Core work is key, it's essential to building up that hidden strength as a football player. Again, injury prevention. Having a strong core, not just the abs, the glutes as well, will allow us to remain robust and train it as often as we can and play as many games as we can. And when I say core, I don't mean do 1,000 sit-ups. Whatever you do, don't do that. Core is anti-rotation, so if you're holding someone off, you want to build the core with doing exercises like that. When I show you the workout, I'm going to show you how to hold players off, get that stabilisation and anti-rotation. When do we do the gym as a football player? I get this question all the time, Sam, when should I do the gym? I train this night, this night, this night, this night. Okay, first of all, let's tackle legs. If you're doing legs, the only time you really want to do legs is after a training session or on a day where you don't have training. You don't want to be fatigued going into a training session after doing a heavy leg session. The caveat though is that you can do a little bit of power work for the legs before a training session because you're lifting lighter weights and it doesn't take as much out of the body. It's not as taxing. So when it comes to legs, leave at least a day before a game. Don't do it on a training day unless it's after the session, unless you're doing a little bit of power. When it comes to upper body, personally, you can do this any day of the week. apart from the day of a game. Why would you do it the day of a game? You want to be fresh. I never did it the day before a game either, because sometimes you can get some soreness and I'd want to be completely fresh for when that kick-off time comes. But upper body can be done before training, after training, off days, whatever you like. Core work, same again. It can be done before training, it can be done after training, any day of the week, apart from game day or the day before. Because again, you want to be fresh for the game. In season, okay, what do I do in season? You want to focus on power, because I'm presuming in the off season you focus a lot on strength. So in season you want to focus on power movements for lower and upper body, you also want to do some core. But listen, if you miss a game, if you're injured, if the game's off, it's fine to do some strength work, that's a good time to do it. But in season, if you're playing 90 minutes, if you're training a couple of times a week, you don't really need to be lifting really heavy weights every single week. Off season, what the hell do I do in off season? Okay, so off season is a little bit different again. This is the time where you're building that bulletproof body, where you want to make yourself really robust. So you can do nice and heavy weights, you can lift heavy a couple of times a week, no problem. It doesn't matter if you've got muscle soreness, because there's no games, there's nothing coming up that you need to be really fresh for. And lastly, less is better. Do not begin your week on a Monday morning planning on going to the gym every single day of the week, because it's unrealistic, it's not sustainable, it's going to be hard to keep that consistent, especially after week 1 or week 2. So whatever you do, in my head, the way I work it is, if I want to start doing a new program or a new gym session or new habit, new routine for the gym, I'll say to myself, right, I'm going to go once this week or I'm going to go twice this week. If I do that, I tick it off, I do 2 again the next week. If I do that and I feel like I could do 1 more, I add 3 in. Okay, so just build it slowly so you can get that consistency and that sustainability. Okay, are you ready? It's strength time, power time, core time. I'm going to show you 2 strength exercises for the lower body, 2 strength exercises for the upper body, 2 power exercises for the lower body, 2 power exercises for the upper body, and a couple of core exercises. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so my 2 go-to lower body movements. You want to hit the front of the body and the back of the body. So these are 2 examples. The barbell back squat, like this, and then some RDLs like this. I don't like doing the full deadlift because I don't want to put too much strain on my lower back. But with this one, we're working the glutes, the hammies, the calves. So I'm going to give you 2 examples here of lower body strength movements. Now it's really important when considering lower body strength movements, what muscle groups you're going to be hitting. For barbell back squats, I love doing it barefoot, and the reason for this is so I can keep my heel and my toe flat to the ground and I can improve my technique. So shoes go off to the side. For today's example, I'm going to show you how we can hit the quads, how we can hit the hamstrings, how we can hit the glutes, how we can hit the calves. Essentially, every single major muscle group in the lower body. Remember, it's really important if you're in season that you're doing a maximum of 3 sets of 5 reps. Now that little clank sound that you can hear is actually a good sound to hear. It means I'm doing the movement with power, which in season is what you're looking for. Yes, it's a strength movement, but it's strength and power. Now I'm going to show you some RDLs for the hamstrings and the glutes. So be careful with the bar when you get the weight on. So hands about shoulder width, like this. Keep the bar flush to the quads. You're going to slide it down, hinge at the hips, stick the bum towards the wall. When the bar gets halfway below the knees, up and squeeze. So the bar's going flush to the body, ass out and up. And it's only going down to about halfway down the kneecap, and then you're up. Alright, so you are allowed to put your shoes back on if you like, or you can keep them off. So now we're going to do 2 strength upper body movements. We're going to do one for the shoulders and one for the chest. When it comes to any of these movements, I don't like targeting like the biceps or the triceps, any like specific isolated muscle group. I prefer doing compound lifts where you're targeting more than one muscle group every time. So that's what we're going to do. Barbell shoulder press and barbell bench press. For technique with the barbell shoulder press, you want to have your hand not too wide and not too narrow. Again, probably around in line with the shoulders. This is going to make the movement easier to complete. You want to have a nice, strong, stable stance, feet about shoulder width apart. And again, we're going to go for 3 sets of 5. Now it's time for some barbell shoulder press. We're going to hit the chest. It's also working the arms as well. So for this one, your pinkies are going to go on the ring. You're going to bring the bar down. I like to bring it right down to my chest and then fully extend upwards. Again, 3 sets of 5 for strength, nice and heavy. Now it's time to do some lower body power and some upper body power. Let's go. When it comes to lower body and upper body power, I love to superset them. Remember, both of these movements will be done with maximum power, as fast as I possibly can, and this is how you get explosive. This is how you get powerful. For the split squats, you want to have your feet not in line with each other, slightly off, nice and wide, so when you drop down, your knee does not come over your toes. The downwards movement doesn't have to be fast, it's the upward movement that counts. It needs to be super fast. Once you've done 5 or 6 reps on the right side, you want to go straight into your single leg power jumps. Again, you want to go for power, maximum speed, but if your balance is off, reset and start again. The second power movement I'm going to show you is one of my favourites. It's barbell power squats, followed by bodyweight jump squats. For the barbell squats and the jump squats, again, you're completing it as a superset. You can add weight onto the barbell, but remember, you don't want to go too heavy because you want to move the weight fast. Again, 3 sets with 5 or 6 reps. Okay, so now it's time for some upper body power. Now, not many people know about this one, but it's one of my favourites as well. It's called landmine power press. We're going to superset it again. So landmine power press, and then we're going to go straight into press ups. If your gym doesn't have that wee attachment, get a yoga mat, fold up into the corner of the wall and place the barbell against the wall to support it. So we also want to target the back muscles when we're doing power. So this is the one arm row. Now you can do this as a strength movement, but if you move it quickly with power, it acts as a power movement. So one hand on the bench, one knee, flat foot, flat back, grab the dumbbell, keep the elbow close to the side. All you're going to do is, nice and heavy weight, just pull it up. You want to hear that rattling noise. The rattling noise of the dumbbell means that you're moving it quickly with power, so if you hear that, it's good. And of course, we are supersetting that movement with med ball slams. Make sure you're allowed to slam the ball, whatever one you're using. Some of them aren't made for slamming. So with this one, triple extension, slam down up as fast as you can, slam down. I want you to make a hole in the ground. You want to slam it down. Try and make a hole in the ground, give it everything you've got. Again, 3 sets, 5 or 6 reps, and that is lower body strength ticked off, upper body strength ticked off, lower body power ticked off, and upper body power ticked off. Now it's time for some core. So for core work, we want to target a few areas. We want to have that stabilisation of the core, so you're nice and strong when you're on the ball. Anti-rotation, you know, when you're shielding players off, you want to be able to switch that core on, be really strong, and not get pushed off the ball. So it's better to do stuff that I'm going to show you than just doing sit-ups and crunches, 100%. So the first one is going to be a little plank and a pull under. So in the plank position like this, you're going to get the dumbbell and pull it across. Put it nice and wide, so you really have to reach for it. Now, as you see me here, you'll be able to see that everything stays really still from head to toe. My hips aren't in the air, my hips aren't too low, my feet are nice and wide to stabilise me, and all that's moving is my hands. Okay, so now it's time for some anti-rotation stuff. This is the stuff you don't want to get your body pulled this, so you want to be able to stay here, stay strong, stay tight for when you're holding the ball. Feet just about shoulder width apart. You're going to pull, so you've got some resistance. You want to be able to feel as though the band wants to pull you back in. You're going to resist it here, it's called the Palov press. You're going to come in to out. Don't let anything move. Little bend in the knees, chest stays forward, hips stay forward. You're going to feel it deep in those core muscles. Making sure you work both sides as well. Make sure the hands stay directly in front of the chest. Now the final core exercise can be done with a Swiss ball, or it can be done with a roller. So what you're going to do is place your elbows and forearms on the ball, Squeeze the glutes, feet shoulder width apart, relax the shoulders, and all you're going to do is a tiny little movement. You don't want to be rolling it here and in, just a tiny little controlled movement. Okay guys, you have done it. You have managed to complete and check off part 2 of the footballer's physical checklist. This is gym-based fitness. We've looked at lower body strength and power, upper body strength and power, and core. So I've told you all the reasons why. We want to be robust because we don't want to get injured. We want to be lean, we want to be strong, we want to be powerful, we want to be fast, we want to be explosive. These are all the reasons why we do stuff in the gym as football players and athletes. So if you aren't, you need to start thinking about it. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Next week, we're going to be covering an even more important topic. It is the foundation for all footballers, for all athletes. And if you guessed it, well done. The answer is nutrition. So next week, we're going to look at what footballers need to eat to perform on the pitch. We're also going to look at hydration and supplementation. So if you don't know what to do for these things, you better tune in next Sunday. I'm going to show you everything you need to know. See you guys in the next video.